I promised I would either do this as a video or a stream, but I've been super tired this week, so here's the video. This is going to be a little demonstration of some Golden Sun The Lost Age randomizer routing and glitch stuff. Before we start, a couple things. As you can see, the game looks a little weird with the text in the top left and top right. I am using Plexa's utility script for The Lost Age for showing some debug information and toggling encounters. I will not be using the in-game voice synergy because the script is just a lot easier. I'll also be using a lot of the in-game debug mode to teleport around. This will not by no means be a full randomizer run. I'm just going through some dungeons and stuff in a pretty much an arbitrary order. I have input display on, so you can see what I'm holding, like the directional buttons. Left, right, select, start, all that good stuff. Finally, I am using a BIOS file for my emulator. This causes one thing to be different. There's two ways to reset the game. One of them is a soft reset, which is select start BA, which just reboots the game. Then there is the hard reset, which is equal to turning off the system and turning it back on again. Most emulators will have a shortcut for this. I know that in Visual Boy Advance it is generally Ctrl R, and it'll say reset in the bottom left corner. And as you'll see, it'll show the Game Boy splash screen. That's caused by the BIOS file. Why is this important? Well, a hard reset, as opposed to a soft reset, sets the battle random number. There's two random numbers in this game, battle in general. It'll set the battle random number to 0. And this has a huge effect, namely that the first battle you will have is a guaranteed attacks first. That's pretty powerful. And so to offset that, the randomizer race rule guidelines suggest that people should use a BIOS file, because the extra time it takes to show the splash screen offsets the obvious advantage of having an attacks first. Alright. Now, before we start for real, I'm gonna grab some synergy, because I'll be needing those to demonstrate some stuff later. There's reveal. There's blaze. Whirlwind. Yep, debug mode lets me walk through walls. And here is sand. Oh yeah. One more thing. I will be using the emulator speed up a lot to speed things up. Otherwise this video is going to be a little longer than I would like. I know this distorts the audio, and that can be really unpleasant, and that is why the game audio is relatively low. Alright, now first off, let me show a thing that the randomizer has, namely hint NPCs. So there are 6 NPCs in the game that in the randomizer will give you a hint. Now this can be one of 3 types of hints. One is a cryptic hint about a specific item in a specific location. Another is giving the number of key items in a dungeon. And finally there is telling whether a very specific item location has a key item or not. This is all on the randomizer website. Let me just show that real quick. We have the website, and then at the top under help, settings info, and then all the way at the bottom, item hints. There's the list of NPCs, a lot of information about what they tell you. In the seed that I curated for this demonstration, sadly all of them are cryptic item hints, so I can't really show the other two types, but for example, King Hydra's here. The power to break that which blocks the way, which is Burst. Awaits in the shrine overlooking the ocean, which is Shrine of the Sea God. Now I can show this. Back to the browser. If you look at the spoiler log for this seed, we search for Burst. Yeah, we can see here, Burst Brooch is in Shrine of the Sea God. So yeah, hint NPCs, very useful. Can be useful. As a rule, they will always tell you about items that you only have access to after having access to the NPC. But they don't necessarily check if you've already have the item, so you may get a hint for an item you already have. That's just how it goes. Alright. Let's start off here at Itajima. First thing you want to do, of course, is check your synergy, check your items. Be careful of cursed items. That is something I personally am extremely bad at. I will equip stuff that looks good and then I'm like, oh, my character is now cursed. Unfortunate. Time to spend money to actually get it off. And then what I personally do is I will bind move and retreat to hotkeys. And use a void. Because in a race, you generally will not be using a void. You will not be taking encounters as much. So having a void on all the time helps. You only turn it off for Jin fights. So, right from the start, there's a couple ways to go, and there's not really a right way to do this at the moment. Like, there's a lot of viable options, and it's all down to luck. But I'll show you what I like to do. I always check this item here in Daila Sanctum, just to know if you need to come back here later. Teleporting takes some time, and you know, if you're in Daila anyway, check it. We get the first Jinny. And now what I do is I use Retreat, which in the randomizer works as teleport. And I teleport back to Daila. And because most randomizer runs will be starting with the boat unlocked, that will bring the boat to you so you can use it right away. Now what I like to do is immediately head for Gabomba. Now, of course, you need Lash to actually get into Gabomba and do anything meaningful, like get Pierce, but there's a way around that. Turn off debug mode. Save your game. Do a reset, soft or hard, doesn't matter. And as you're selecting your save file, hold L and start at the same time. Keep holding them. Select your save file. You can release them. And that is called a Sanctum Warp. It will take you to the Sanctum of the last town you visited, which in Gabomba's case is very conveniently up on the cliff that you normally need Lash to get up to. So we can go get Pierce and have a sneak peek at what item is on Gabomba's statue. Alright, this is where I'm going to use a bit of speed up, just to make this cutscene a little shorter. There's a vial on Gabomba's statue, not interesting, so we just retreat out of here. Also, don't forget to actually check what Pierce is on him, in terms of synergy, Jin, and items. And then what I do is I head towards Treasure Isle. It is a fantastic location to check. It has 14 items available right from the start. Just go upright. And then just about when you hit the darker part of the ocean, go up a little. And then here we go up right again. That's the Champa coastline. We will be making a stop here to tag some locations so we can teleport to them later easier. We tag Ankohl Ruins because it is also another very, very valuable location. A lot of chests are available as soon as you get Whirlwind. Now we just go right, follow the land. Here we go right, and then right once the land disappears from view. And that will take us right to Izumo. There we go. Izumo is another great location to tag because it gives easy access to Gaia Rock and later on a pretty fast way to get to Apojii Island in my opinion. There we go up. Should clarify, from the edge of this little beach sticking out, you go up. And then what you do is you want to count the shoals, or like the more shallow water you see. Like there's one, and there's two. Now I check for, you see at the top, right next to Raid, you'll see that there's like a little horizontal line of shimmering. That's why you go top left. And that will take us right around to where we need to be to get into Treasure Isle. As I said, there are 14 items to check here. 6 are in these rooms. There's Taos, we'll be picking that up. Nothing interesting in that room. And the side crystal is also very useful if you're going to be doing a lot of retreat glitching. Sometimes you find that Felix has some sanity that you need to use, but because of retreat glitching you're super low, and then a side crystal can help, you know, get his PP back so you can actually do other more important things with him. Here's a couple good items. And Lash. The black crystal is utterly useless in a seat where you start with the boat unlocked. That is one big hint that I have if you're playing the randomizer. Don't pick up every item. Be selective with what you pick up or not, because most of the time it's items that you just don't need, and going out of your way to get them can cost you a lot of time. So at this point we'll teleport back to Dyla. And then what I like to do is a mixed Decamp Plateau. You can do Decamp Plateau either normal, reverse, or mixed. I am of the personal opinion that mix is the fastest, until proven otherwise. So we'll just make our way there. I'm gonna speed this up a bit. Go. Couple item checks. There's the first. Right, the randomizer does. It has a patch that essentially skips cutscenes. It also makes the animation of triggering these cracked floors a little faster. If you're used to how it goes in vanilla, second item by the way, then that might trip you up because it's actually quite a bit faster. And you may just overshoot where you're trying to go. Like over here, if you're expecting like the kind of weighty pull-in that these tiles do in vanilla, you're gonna run into that cracked floor beyond it. You don't want that. Now we skip that one item there. We go forward. Check this one. That's a herb shirt. And now we go back. And we drop down this hole to get the last item in the front. After that we teleport out. This is generally where I will take off a void, because we're going to be getting a Ginny overworld fight. And frankly, using synergy on the overworld is a little laggier. So where possible, do things like toggle a void while you're in towns or dungeons. And then here on the overworld we retreat again, but rather than selecting a location, we select ourselves. This will freak out the game, it doesn't know where to put us, and then it defaults to like a safety door, which is this nice little beach right next to Mudra. Now you want to tag Madra for later. So this force is where you want to be getting the Ginny fight. You tag Madra, check for the item that is normally the nurse's cap. Usually it's nothing. If it is, get it, and then just leave Madra behind for the time being. And this is why it's reverse/mixed Decon. We go back to Decon Plateau from the back. We want to attack this cave. Again, the philosophy of if you're somewhere and you don't know if you'll be back, check what the item is, even if you can't get it. Because then at least you know if you need to get it to go back or not. We'll teleport to this cave again to get the boat to us. Because the Madra warp, as it's called, does not summon the boat. And then we just hop right into the back of Decon Plateau. So there's the Ginny cutscene here. You want to be careful not to trigger it, because otherwise these pillars get broken. And now you can just hop across nicely. Drop down. Right on the Ginny's head, who's also outside, by the way. And it'll drop the item. Now you don't need to go any further unless you have Pound. If you have Pound, you can actually get the Ginny from beyond here. Most cases you'll want to retreat. Then there's one more item that we can see but not get unless you have Lash. But again, just checking it generally saves time, in my opinion. That's a rusty sword. Now at least we know we don't need to go back here, and we don't need to check later. Right, at this point I will take the ship, and I'll sail east. Making a quick pit stop here. This is an item I tend to forget a little too often for my liking. It's the item here. Again, just checking it, making sure there's nothing there. Just a soul ring, I think. It's one of the unused items that the randomizer hacks into the game. We get back, and then we just stop right here. And now we tag Al-Hafra. And from there we're going to do Yampi Desert reversed. Couple interesting items here. Don't forget there is a retreat chest in this pile of rocks that we can't get yet. Well, we can. Normally, if you're doing this Sphere 0, you usually won't have reveal. There's a blue key. Cool. There's Pound. That is very useful. Two ways of getting this item. Remember, sand is your friend when you're in a desert. Sand lets you bypass so much things here in Yampi Desert. I don't have debug mode on. There we go. Gonna grab that. But yeah, normally you will need either Lash or Sand for that item. There's the Yampi Desert Cave up here. I'm gonna show you a neat thing with that later. Two items in this cave. That's Parsh. Yeah, let's grab it. I don't remember if I actually need it for... Yeah, I do need it for the showcase, never mind. Yeah, getting into Tundaria is... I could just debug warp inside, of course, but... having Parch is nice, just in case, anyway. We're here, a couple more items to check. Over here is one salamander tail. And then over on this side, you will actually need Pound or Sand to check this item, but that's fine. You can check it from down here, But if you're going to go there anyway to get the Ginny, just ignore that and check it once you're actually on that side of the rocks. Of course, there's a Ginny up here, and then you can go further right for King Scorpion. Now here's the neat thing. Also going to be the first introduction of the retreat glitch here. I'm going to use the debug scripts, utility scripts setting Felix's PP very low. What you essentially want is Felix's PP to be lower than the PP cost for retreat. In vanilla it's 6, in the randomizer it can be anywhere between, on the top of my head, 4 or 8. The higher the better, generally speaking. But yeah, this is why we have retreat on a hotkey, because you need it there. You'll want to use the retreat hotkey. Not enough PP. Now it looks like this did nothing, but this actually puts us in a glitch state. And this room transition here will bring us to the entrance of Yampi Desert Cave. Now this is dependent on where you enter the dungeon. In other words, where your retreat point is set to. And of course the exit you actually go through. Going through any other exit may not take you here, but to somewhere completely different. Worst case scenario, it will take you to the Madrador. Alright. Now for Sphere 1, if at this point you still haven't found any lead, there's a couple more locations to check that I'm just going to warp to. There's Gaia Rock, there's Taupo Swamp, there are the penguins. Now, Gaia Rock has one available Sphere 0 item. You go up left, push that rock down, go back around, go up here. And then the one item that is available from the start of the game is right here on that ledge, which is the Thorn Crown. You go up, left, and then down to get it. This ledge gave me a better vantage point. Yeah, kinda. You go up, left, down, get it. Yep, cool. If you're here anyway, and you are confident that you know how to do the maze, which by the way is dependent on Felix's name, and you're okay with going out of logic, there's 2 more checks you can do. And generally this makes Gaia Rock a little more palatable to check, rather than just for that one item, which is also a little bit of a hassle to get to. Let me just turn on the PP lock. You do this puzzle. Generally what you'll do is you push this one further, move it to the right. What you can do is move this to the left. And then kinda, this is a bit touchy-feely. It's like your shadow needs to be a little lower than the stump. And you can move the stump onto yourself. And you can just move off and move it into position. It takes some practice to get right, but when you do, it's a little faster. Now, as for the maze, it is generally just a memorization game. If you have growth, of course, you can just check what the route is for your given name. For the default Felix name, it is left up for the first item, left and up. There's the first item. And from there it is up, right, up, right, right again, and down. And there's the second item. So that's how that works. Now, of course, keep in mind these items are out of logic. The randomizer does not expect you to have them yet, which can tell you a few things about the logic depending on what items they are, where growth is. It's a little complicated for a beginner. Don't worry about it, you know. Right, here's another cool thing. The penguins are a very tedious check because of this ice flow jumping puzzle thing. If you have reveal, it actually makes it a little faster. Hotkey reveal, and then when you use reveal, the ice blocks stop moving. So you can jump across, open your menu, and then here reveal again. And that last one just brings you to the edge of the reveal area, so it breaks. And then that is significantly faster than waiting for the ice blocks to realign on their own. And now you can just get the item. You don't need mind read for this. The penguin is just telepathic, apparently. Right, if all else fails, there's a couple more locations that I haven't gone over. Gabomba Mountains has an item, for example. If all else fails, and you're still just stuck in Sphere 0 with nowhere else to go, no leads whatsoever, then it might be that you will have to defeat Briggs and do reverse Gondwan Cliffs. Entering Gondwan Cliffs from the Gondwan side, you'll eventually run into the issue that there's this tightrope bridge that just isn't there. It's gonna be there once you defeat Briggs, and Briggs is considered to be accessible in Sphere 0. So your Sphere 0 break-in to the seed might just be defeating Briggs, getting across here, and checking some of these items. Which in this case is nothing. Alright, let's go over some locations. This is pretty much all for Sphere 0 done. So we're just going to look at some locations, some dungeons, in no particular order. And we're going to start off with Shrine of the Sea God. Now this has some nice out-of-bounds retreat glitch stuff, but you're going to have to do a hard reset for this. Control R on emulators. The reason is that this resets the out-of-bounds area here, the out-of-bounds memory, to a manageable state, so we know where to go. Because depending on the map, depending on the situation, out-of-bounds can get clogged up with junk data, and it just changes the entire topography. So that is okay, fine. That's fine. So you go here into this first little side room. You retreat glitch through this door. Retreat glitch through this door. And you're out of bounds. Now, if you've done a hard reset, you will line yourself up with this door. You run up until you hit a damage tile. Right there. And then you do down and right. And that very quickly gets you to this staircase. So this is where you'll need Reveal and the Sea God's Tear to get the item at the top, which we know is Burst. I'm going to get that item in a sec. If you might want to come back here, don't forget to actually move this pillar. I should set move back on my hotkeys, yeah. There's the Ginny over there. There are setups for the out-of-bounds stuff to actually get to the Ginny faster. Djinn are not the most important thing in a randomizer, usually. So usually you come here for the treasure anyway, and then getting to Djinn is just a formality by going that way. Yeah, and then you can go here, if you have Lash, to get up here. Every time I reset I have to turn off debug mode, so if it looks like I'm just running into a wall, I'm trying to walk through a wall, but I can't because debug mode is still off. Yeah, here's Scoop, for example. Good item. That's pretty much it for Shrine of the Sea God. Short but sweet. The out of bounds is interesting. If you run into the situation where you're out of bounds and just nothing is where you expect it to be, you probably forgot the hard reset. It has to be a hard reset because a soft reset does not clear the memory sufficiently. Alright, next up, let's go to my personal favorite dungeon. Just warp there, what am I doing? Ayers Rock. This dungeon, doing it casually, doing it glitchless, sucks. I'm turning on PP lock, hotkeying Whirlwind, and there we go. I'm gonna do like a full clear of this place to show how it goes. You can see an item there. You can see an item from here. Power Bread. You'll pass by an item here. The theme is X. And you'll see one final item over here, which is the nurse's cap. Now, if it's one of the first 2 items that you need to get, you pretty much have to do the first room, which involves going down here, doing some whirlwind stone stuff. If it's the 4th item you need to get, you'll have to go up here, trigger this whirlwind stone. But generally speaking, if it's nothing, you'll want to have your PP management properly done, so you end up with low PP here. Take encounters if you need to. Usually you can end up with some smart Jin placement with some pretty high PP cost spells like Healing Aura, Death Plunge, and then just taking an encounter will drain Felix's PP very fast. Over here, or honestly anywhere in this room, you want to enter glitch mode, get here in this little corner, and do a reset. This can be a soft reset, can be a hard reset, doesn't matter. And then loading the game will put you not where you expect. Now, generally you'll want to have Avoid off for this bit, and do this bit as fast as possible, because this room is now loaded with whirlwind statues, and the room has no way to get rid of those whirlwinds. So as you can see here, it starts lagging bad, and an encounter will actually clear this, so you'll want to get an encounter here. Or just take the hit and go through. In here, don't forget to turn Avoid back on if you've turned it off. We just do this room as normal. And then over here, what I like to do is check what's here beyond the frost puddle. If it's anything interesting, just go for it. If you don't have frost, or if you don't have reveal, you think you might have to come back here later, drop down here and open up this shortcut, because that will allow you to come back in from the first room without having to do the retreat glitch again. So, just going to use a bit of speed up here. Here you can actually cast Move on this pillar, because it'll freeze the little whirlwind, and you can actually move it out of the way if the whirlwind is about to hit the pillar. You can actually skip a cycle that way. Well, half a cycle technically. Yeah, then there was another item. Oh, thank you. Now I can show it. Thanatos Mace. Drop down here if you need to get the item at the bottom. If not, just continue on. And next up is going to be a nice little optional trick. And this particular one saves a lot of time. Now at this point your PP management, your PP should still be decently low, as you can easily get below the retreat glitch threshold. Making a save just in case. Get into retreat mode, and then when you climb up this ladder, the loading zone will be gone, and you just go straight through. So this trick is called the blind climb, because the room that is above this one is actually loaded into memory, and you can navigate it, but you can't see where you are, hence blind climb. So what you want to do as you go up the ladder, spam select. Because you can't open your menu on a ladder. Once your menu opens, you know that you're off the ladder. From here, you want to go left slightly and up. Spam select again to make sure that you're on a ladder, and when you're off, you'll know. Up, left, up. And after a bit, you're going to be on a ladder again. As you can see, I'm spamming select, nothing is opening, means I'm on a ladder. We go right. Your screen moves, and once the screen stops moving, go back up. This is a long ladder. There we go. This is usually where I turn off Avoid, which I'm going to do. I'm going to turn it off in my in the utility script. because we want to get an encounter at a very specific spot, and turning it off here I find has the best results of getting it actually on the spot where we want it to be. We go right until the screen moves no more, down, a little more right, go on. There we go. So you'll need to do a little finagling to get the ladder just right. Now, what you're going to do here is just look at the screen shake. We're off the ladder, and we're on the next. So we go back up, and we're off the ladder. And go left a bit, and at this point you cast move. It'll connect with the pillar that normally blocks your way. As you can see, move stays on. Now you just pull it to the right. Then you go right, up, until we're back onto the ladder. And now we run right on top of here until we get an encounter. And we find the ladder, climb down, and we're here. As you can see, the pillar is out of the way. We can just access this place without having to go through all of the nonsense on the screen to the right. Now, yeah, that was really confusing, probably. I'd agree. It definitely helps if you're practicing this to have an image of the room that you're trying to navigate up on screen. But the utility script actually has this nice feature that lets us see kind of like the tiled data around us. This looks like a total mess, so again, not the most clear thing, but hopefully this will make it at least a little clearer what we're doing. So we're going up this ladder, and now we can actually see through a color change that we're on top of the ladder. There we go. So the way I understand it, red is below us, blue is above us. I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. We go left to where there's the 0, because 255 is an impassable wall. 0 means we can climb up here. Left, up. Here's the other staircase. Then we go right, so the screen moves. And as you can see, we're actually lined up to a 0 above us. We just climb up until you're up there. Now we're kind of on like this border of the room, which is just a really high wall. We go here, line ourselves up with this ladder, which is 22 here, I believe. Yeah. Go down until the next ladder. See the screen shake. We go up until we're off the ladder. Left. And as you can see, there's a red 0 to the left of us. And then a white 0 again to the left of that. That's like the little gap that you pull the pillar into. There we go. You don't actually see anything changing here. Then we go back up. And get the encounter. There we go. I can turn it back off. So, blind climb is something that's gonna take a lot of practice. Either way, this is not something that you can look at the video and just immediately understand. It is not the most intuitive thing ever. When you're doing it for the first time, it's very easy to just get stuck on this bit, to just not find this ladder, be a little too far, you know. It just takes a lot of practice to get this right. But it saves a lot of time, so getting it right definitely is valuable. Now here's another chest, the Fusion Shield chest. If this is an item of value, what you want to do is not go through the entire right screen again. No, instead, you'll just go down here. Go back into glitch mode. And essentially what you're going to see is what we did during the blind climb, which is get on top of this cliff, and there's this... just acts as like this boundary. We're going to get an encounter here. Getting this encounter takes a bit of time because we just had an encounter. And that's fine. This is still going to be faster than going the long way around. Go down the ladder, enter here. You can get the item, go back down, and just do the exact same thing again. We need to drain 2 PP. Let's pound. Climb back up, get an encounter on the wall. Gonna speed that one up. There we go. And then back down here. Right, but that is only when this is something valuable. Do not waste your time doing that entire stick if that is just something useless like points. Right, that's it for Airstruck Exterior. Airstruck Interior is going to be even more interesting. Skip this Synergy Stone. Unless you do not want a free Soul Blade, which is guaranteed to be a Soul Blade even in the randomizer because it is garbage code being executed. If we change that in the randomizer, that's going to break a lot more. Right, turn the void back on, of course. Interior is another very interesting can of worms. If you've seen the any percent speedrun, this is gonna look familiar. If you haven't, strap in. Right, get our PP down below the retreat glitch threshold, go into glitch mode. Go up to the wall here, up against this pebble, do another reset. And I will take you right into the main room here with everything unloaded. So you just hop down, everything's as it should be. Now, going to set the PP lock on. Activate this Whirlwind Stone. It's generally interesting to have Whirlwind on Felix if Retreat has a high cost and Whirlwind has a low cost, because it actually allows for very efficient PP draining here. But in most cases you will want as little expensive, important synergy on Felix as possible, except for 1 or 2 to drain its PP. Now we go through this exit. If you need to get back in, push it out of the way, otherwise leave it be. Go back in. To reset our retreat point to here. I'll show you what I mean. If we retreat now, we're going to be at this door. And that's going to be important for the retreat glitch stuff that we're going to be doing next. Now we go back up because we have 1 more Whirlwind Stone to activate. And that's the one right over here. Okay. Now, after we've moved this out of the way, you want to go back into retreat glitch mode. And then we walk all the way back to the Synergy Stone at the beginning. Now this is just one of many ways to navigate Airstruck quickly. There may be different ways, different orders in which you do things, different retreat glitches to utilize to make this even faster, but this is as fast as I could make it. So we grab the Synergy Stone, which magically turns into a Soul Blade, because that's what they do. We go into this little crevasse, and we do another reset. There's a thing to keep in mind when hard resetting during a save, which I'm gonna hopefully get into soon. Yeah, we are. Alright. We're gonna be out of bounds here. Now, we're actually just to the right of the screen. What you want to do is hold up and right at the same time. And eventually you will hit a door. Right here. Now we'll go back through the door. And essentially we're going to be doing this part of Airstruck inverted. There's an item for you to check. If you need that, go left here. Here's another item. If you need that, you're going to have to do the puzzle with blowing the whirlwind statue off its little perch. And we go through this room, which is a very tedious room. Gonna speed through. And here's the last item to check, which is the ruin key. It just so happens to be valuable. In that case, move this down. Get yourself blown this way. Push this into its little position. I'm on the wrong layer. How do I get to the right layer? There we go. Go back, get blown across again. Go up here. And then you want to push this statue all the way until there is exactly one empty tile of pushable area above the statue's head, right there. One tile. And as you get blown across, you're going to be right here. And you can get the item. Alright, that is the first leg through the Air's Rock interior. At this point you'll want to retreat. EP management is going to be a little awkward after this entire segment, but you might have to take an encounter or something, because we're going to have to retreat bitch again real soon. Luckily I have the utility script. You'll want to be here. Yep, here. Up against the wall. Just hold up and right, and it'll just stop you from going any further. And then you go left. And that's where you want to be. Oh, I need to turn off. I need to turn off debug mode whenever I save, because otherwise your save becomes invalid. Like it becomes an automatic sanctum warp, which is not what we want. Another soft reset. And we're here. With wrong layering of objects, but that's fine. We go through this door on our left, and we retreat glitch through this door again. In this room we just continue onward. We're once again doing a part in reverse, and that is a-okay. That is what we want. Little speed up. There's an item here. But we just continue onward. Across the rope bridge, across the rotating platform. We open up this shortcut, and we are where we just were. After the last reset. This time we go through the door on the right. And that's going to give us with one more important item to check. Which is the Summon Tablet, which in vanilla has Flora. In this case has a prong piece. If it has something, do the puzzle here to get Flora. And we want to get our synergy points low again. Retreat glitch and do another reset as we're wedged into this little corner here. And this will take us close to the tablet room. Again, with funky layering and some funky objects, as you see in a sec. Don't mind the stretchy lads. That one's normal though. Alright. Final room, you can see the item that's behind retreat here. Reveal, I mean. You may need to come back for this one if you don't have reveal. So it's better to check and make sure if you have to come back or not, then go through the entire thing again, and just to find out you don't. That would be tragic. Get the item from the tablet, and that is Air's Rock full cleared. We have seen every item in this dungeon. Unfortunate, I entered retreat glitch mode. I'm not sure what this is going to do, so I'm going to make a safe state. Okay, we're fine. I figured as much because that is the retreat point, but I don't know. Retreat glitch can be funky. Right, yeah, that's it for Ayers Rock. Next up, I'm actually gonna show some nice Apojii stuff. Which is right here. Oh, did not mean to leave. So yeah, there's a genie here. She's gone to the beach. Use sand to get across here. Jump down here. And then whirlwind this third bush. Of course, everyone knows this. Why am I telling you this? Because you might be here without Lash. And now there's no way back up. So, you might be thinking, no worries, the randomizer lets me retreat in towns. Let's just retreat. No. No, the randomizer does not let you do that. Because the cave behind the waterfall counts as a separate area. And sub-areas within towns are not correctly handled when it comes to their retreat points. So, here we are. Apparently soft lock, there's no way out. But, of course, there is Sanctum warping. Just save your game, reset. And as a refresher, hold L and start as you load your file. And that puts you at the Sanctum. At this point, when you're here anyway, you probably have doubts. Why would you come here otherwise? Just for the genie? Nah. So we activate the stone. And this is going to be something interesting. So we get the entire cutscene, the head's moving. And let's just cast Retreat. Allowing retreat in towns is weird. It takes you to Aqua Rock because there was the cutscene that showed Aqua Rock. And that apparently loaded Aqua Rock's retreat point into memory. Because you aren't supposed to retreat in Apojii. There we go. Cool stuff. Right, I'm going to leave Aqua Rock for later because Aqua Rock is mostly untouched. There's some glitchy stuff, but it's a hassle to deal with. Not something that's really super helpful. So let's actually look at Lemuria. Just gonna get the boat here. When you're trying to select a retreat point, teleport point that is close to you, always be careful not to select yourself, or you're gonna end up near Madra and have to do an extra teleport. From here, we just go here. So yeah, generally speaking, you don't want to fight Poseidon. Now, if you have grind, you can enter Lemuria from the back entrance, which is right over here on the left side of the Sea of Time. There's a little beak of light water. I think it looks like a beak. Could be like a little, I don't know, a beak. We go in here, and we just take the water flow that's just, you know, straight ahead. And then you just grind this one. And you're past. In this room, don't go down. Because that's gonna trigger the Poseidon fight, you know. That would be incredibly unfortunate. Just go up. And there's Lemuria. Without having to fight Poseidon, you just need grind. Now there's a couple things to do while we're here. Just need to walk across. No big deal. So yeah, there's the lucky metal fountain. In case you're unaware, there's a randomized item. If you hit the middle, there's a very easy setup. Just open it as soon as you can, and then when that crab at the top goes left, you toss the metal. And it'll go right through everything into the middle. And this... I actually fed it this seed before I did the demonstration, and I remember this making me so incredibly sad. Because grind being right here means that Poseidon is pretty much a requirement to get grind in this seed. It is incredibly unfortunate. It made me very, very sad. Alright, yeah, there's the grindstone, and of course, King Hydros as a hint NPC. Interesting. But yeah, this is also one of the 2 points where you can access the ship if you start with the ship. The other being Ateca Inlet. Both require grind. So grind is a logical requirement for everything on the boat. Now, there's 2 items here. The first one we can actually see from here. And it's the magma ball. And the other one is right past this guy. The fusion shield. So you want to go down here. Now, yeah, going through the entire ship to fight Aqua Hydra, it's cool and all. Things can get cooler. Get yourself ready for a retreat glitch. Stand in the doorway. Get into glitch mode. Do not have debug mode on, because otherwise your save becomes useless. And then we do a hard reset. Right, I missed the opportunity to talk about this. When you're hard resetting, when you're soft resetting during a save, it'll nicely wait until the save is done before doing the soft reset. A hard reset will not do that. Now, I got the wrong hotkey. That is not what I wanted. There. This is where it's safe to soft reset, hard reset I mean. Apologies. I am actually tired. This is where it's safe to hard reset. If you hard reset before this, your save might become corrupted. I think it's recoverable with a Sanctum Warp, but I'm not sure. It's a risk. Let's play it safe. So yeah, we hard reset. And as we load the game, we're out of bounds in the first room of the ship. We are at the bottom, behind a obscuring black layer. If we had left, you'll see us pop out. Hello. It's us. You go up. And then you want to line up with these boxes down there. You can see my feet. Since this is another out of bounds, I'm just going to open up the tile data. This one is very sensitive, but doing it correctly will get you to Aqua Hydra way faster than going through the ship, so this is a valuable one to learn. We go up. Carefully. I really should not be running, because eventually you will hit a damaged tile. Right there. Now, if we go any further up, we get kicked out of the ship. We don't want that. Like if you go a little up too far after the damaged tile as well, so what you usually want to do is just like go a little further beyond the damaged tile. Be careful, this is really sensitive. Make saves if need be. And just go back down until you find the damaged tile again. And you go left 2 damaged tiles. 1, 2. And you go up. And there we are. In the Aqua Hydra room. Now, I'm quickly going to finish this fight. Oh. What is the What was it doing? I accidentally... What is it doing? I toggled the wrong flag. Hold on. It's not 16E, it is 16D. Unfortunate. Okay, that is good to know. He died. So here we go. The item seems to be gone. Even revisiting the room, the item seems to be gone. It actually just turned invisible because of some weird rendering thing with the water. I think it has to do with the chest sprite having different states for being submerged, and regular item sprites do not. I don't quite know, because there's also a submerged item in Aqua Rock, which is fine. But then again, that one doesn't have like the green discoloration that it has here. Who knows? The item is there, it's just invisible. So we just parch. We climb down. And you pick up the invisible item. That's fantastic. And that is the Lemuria Ship. Very fast way to get to Aqua Hydra. Yeah. Alright, next up. We're going to be looking at some Western Sea stuff. I need to get the ship here. So yeah, sadly hotkey retreat doesn't mean much on the world map, because you just zoom out the map if you try to or open the world map, depending on which you've mapped it to. Like, zoom out, world map. Hotkeys don't work here, sadly. It's not a thing I intend to make work either. So yeah, we just make our way through here. I know we have grind. This is faster. So at the Western Sea. Routing this sucks. First thing you want to do is get the genie from this forest here. You can actually get it from the moment you access Gondwan, which is pretty much the start of the game, but walking here sucks so bad. Once you get to the Western Sea, this is just so easy to get. Yeah, the Western Sea. The entire southern half of the Western Sea has no good teleport points. Like, nothing. It is such a mess to just find a good pathing that works. So what I like to do, kind of line myself up with the top of this beach, and just go all the way left. And you'll hit right here. Attack this, get the item here. You know, normal puzzle. We want to tag this in case we want to get the Ginny later. From here we just skirt the beach and go up. And that will take us close to Hesperia settlement. Now, we actually passed this beach here on the way. So if you can disembark here, because there's another overworld Ginny right here in this forest. It's out of the way to get, so I personally do not like getting it unless you're doing the bingo, and one of the goals is to actually defeat all the overworld Djinn. It's right here in this forest here. That's a good time to pick it up, because again, the warps here kinda suck. Hesperia settlement, it has an item and a Ginny, but required growth. And then from here what I do, is I just kinda go right and along here until I reach Loho. Loho is a nice place to tag, because it has the cannon. You'll need it if you want to get to Prox. There's Cult Island up here, which has a Ginny. But generally I'll just go back. And then here go down. And then we do this whole thing. Now there's also Magma Rock, which is entered through the river down here. You can definitely tag Magma Rock first. It's a little out of the way. Tagging it is always... it can't hurt. And it actually has a benefit that, you know, teleports here suck, you know, so tag everything you can. But I personally just... I take the risk and skip it. Now, one thing you should not do is go here, tag Magma Rock, and then teleport to Magma Rock, because your boat will be here, right where the river starts, and it's a long walk to get there. And because walking is slower than the boat with the increased boat speed patch, that's not something you want to do. I usually just go straight for Contigo. Right, this is the other opportunity to get into the Lemurian ship. But since we've already done that, we don't really care. Don't forget the item up here. And a genie down there. Yeah, Contigo is pretty straightforward. It gives access to Jupiter Lighthouse, which is valuable. Genie here. There's another genie further up top if you have force. And there's a free item next to the corn cellar, which is by the way another hint NPC, which tells us that there is a summon in Animal's Inner Sanctum. Animal's Inner Sanctum is not shuffled. Of course, the only key items in there are gonna be Charon and Iris. So yeah, that is pretty much the Western Sea. From this point you have Loho, from which you can easily access Shaman Village if you need to. You can access procs from there. Yeah, speaking of Shaman Village, let's actually go there because there's some interesting stuff to say about Trial Road. Trial Road works a little differently in the randomizer, in that the entire gimmick of having to drop your equipment into chests doesn't apply. Can I no-clip past the starting line? If you go to the starting line while the sand wall is up with debug mode like this, the game is going to take a long, long time to figure out what to do with the NPCs. But yeah, we entered Trial Road without the race mode. Now, normally you enter here and the race does still happen, which is fine, but the chests are just, don't matter. When you get up here, this door will close behind you. Now, fighting Mappa is I should not have said that word. I need to bleep that out in editing. Fighting Moappa is tricky. It's hard. He hits hard. He's pretty tough because you're not fighting a lot of stuff in the randomizer. You're going to be underleveled. He is a nightmare to fight. You generally just want to go here with lift to get the item and the genie that are in the little oasis segment beyond here. Right here and there. Now, if you're here while the race mode of Trial Road is active, you can't retreat, you can't Sanctum Warp, you'll actually have to walk back up there and die to Moappa to get out, because the door is still going to be closed. One thing to keep in mind, because the chest gimmick is disabled, Trial Road no longer snapshots your inventory and restores it at the end, so the Trial Road duplication glitch does not work. Don't try it. You're gonna lose your items and you're gonna have to buy them back at the shop. It's just a waste of money. Right, because we entered outside of race mode, we can just retreat from here now. But that's not what's gonna happen in an actual randomizer run when you get here for the first time. Right. Let's talk about a couple Jupiter Lighthouse things. So when you get up here, there's one item which is tricky, because it's kind of out of the way. It's not really where you'd expect it to be. Once you've turned on the lighthouse and the hover pass work, you go across here, there's an item here. It's Daedalus. You can also see this item from the blue door side, but at that point backtracking, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a lot of backtracking, but you're gonna have to remember to get that item when you go up to fight the Gaia and Karst. And most of the time when you're here in Jupiter Lighthouse, in the randomizer that you're playing bingo, you're not interested in the Gaia and Karst. Like, clearing Jupiter Lighthouse, getting Isaac's party, is such a time sink that you only do that as like a last resort when everything else fails you. Also, yeah, there's this room. You do not need Hoover for this room. You can just move diagonal on these tiles. Like that. So you can just do this. Get over here, move this out of the way, and then slip through here. And then this door is going to be open if you've moved that pillar. And you can go up. And you know, do your thing. That is honestly all the interesting stuff about Jupiter Lighthouse. There is another... there's another skip that the No Save and Quit speedrun do. But it's a little bit... You kind of set it up early on by falling down a hole in this left annex tower. You go to the right annex tower, you skip a few rooms using that. Which does mean that you need to do these in order in the randomizer. You might not. You might not even be interested in that. It may very well not be worth the trouble to go through that. So that's why I'm not going over it here. If you're interested, check out the No Save and Quit speedruns. You can see it there. Alright, we're getting near the end. Let's do some Mars Lighthouse. 2 items in the front that are easy to miss. Right up here, up these ladders. On top of this little elevator stand, there's an item. People tend to not know about for some reason. I'm on the wrong layer. Where am I? Okay, you know. Okay, what did I do? That was not my intent. Alright, here we go. No clipping through stuff can be finicky. And over here you have another item. It's a mimic in the base game. Usually with a lot of these dungeons, what I used to have is that I would just only memorize the good stuff, and then I was shocked to find out that some of these items were here because they just weren't valuable to me anymore after a point. I just forgot about them. But you can actually check what's on the teleport lapis chest here. And of course use teleport to get there. But checking is faster than the teleport animation and then having to teleport back. Yeah, one more thing to show is the dump skip. It is an absolutely fantastic name and I love it. When you get to here, I'm gonna make a save state. You probably just want to do a regular save here because falling down here is a bit of a time loss, and just restarting your game, reloading your save is generally faster as long as you get this within a reasonable amount of tries. You want to get nice up and close to the flame. That was too close. I think this is fine. There's a bit of leeway there. I don't know exactly how this works. Sometimes this glitch sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to open your status menu, and this unloads the flames in the background. So what you want to do is quickly close your menu and then run through. And we've skipped the flames without having to move the statue all the way here. Big time save. If you get it right. Right, one more thing on this side of the lighthouse. Which is, there is a very nice genie in a room just past here. Now, normally getting this genie requires a bit of a puzzle to, you know, get into. Well, not even a puzzle, you just need to get near the exit. But if you're not interested in what's in the teleport lapis chest, you don't want to do this entire ice puzzle. Just go here, turn down while you're sliding, and now you're in a position to just talk to the genie, even though you're diagonal with it. That's just a neat little thing. It's going to save you a bit of time, but not too much. Alright, the last thing to say is there is one more really annoying chest that people tend to not know about. It's right here in the last segment of Mars Lighthouse. In the Mars Wing. As you cross this bridge and go to the Mars Wing Annex, there's actually an item on the far side of here. Normally it's the Alistor's hood. So yeah, that can be something. Make sure you check that. And then there's one more thing you need to know about these elemental wings, is that you do not need to do the Venus one. As we get here, and we cast Blaze, sir, and we cast Blaze, and we activate the Mars sigil of the dragon. Now, that should be fine. We want a retreat glitch. This works on any of the elemental towers, by the way, not just the Mars one. It also works on Jupiter and Mercury. And we Blaze again. It reactivates the sigil. The color looks extremely weird. But if I go back to the room with all the doors, you'll see Mars is lit. And Venus is lit. So yeah, you could skip the entire Venus wing of Mars Lighthouse 2 with a simple retreat glitch. That's all. Right, as we're nearing the end, there is Magma Rock I still want to show. It has some more interesting speedrun strats to get through. Also, if you're not familiar with it, Burst is broken. Burst does not check the height difference between you and your target. So if I burst right here at the bottom of the stairs, I forgot to pick up Burst. Darn it. It's right up here. Which is right where the hint all the way at the beginning said it was, by the way. We climb up here. Alright, we're just gonna hotkey burst. You can see this. I'm at the bottom of the stairs. I burst. And it breaks the pillar, just like that. And this is something that essentially breaks Magma Rock in half. There's an item you can see here. You drop down here, use the setting to get up, walk around, push out of the way, go up. Then you go to the right here, and down if you need to get the item. Otherwise, this room is 2 points you need to burst. Right here, under that little tuft of grass. It's going to activate a statue which bursts that. For some reason, that pillar cannot be bursted. You actually do need to do it through the statue. And then over here, wedge yourself into this corner, holding up and right, and burst. Right, this one does not have a clear visual cue that it worked. You can see it by the burst animation, because if burst whiffs, it's that. So as long as it does the big animation, you know you hit. You use growth to get up here, use the statue to get up here, you know, basic stuff. Next screen. Second slide has an item. The third slide has progress. Use that to get up here, use the statue, you know. Again, this is vanilla stuff. I'm assuming people know the vanilla stuff. I'm not going to go into this too hard. This part has another blind climb that you can learn if you're interested in it. It is definitely harder than the Airs Rock one. But if you're interested, I'm gonna try it. This is also one I'm not too familiar with. So I'm gonna make a save state just in case. And open up this. I'm gonna go up here. Spam select until we get off the ladder. As you can see, color on the map's changed. When you're doing it, you obviously don't see this, so I'm just doing this as a visual aid for you guys. I'm actually trying to do this from memory. You go upright for a bit, and then you just hold right for some seconds, and then you think you're done. You hold up left for about the same amount of time, and at that point you just go right a tiny bit, like 1 or 2 steps, and then you should be on a ladder. Oh, yeah, so I'm spamming select, but holding B and select when in debug mode opens the flag menu. Right, at this point you're on top of the little ladder. You hold down and right, again for just some time. I actually got onto a ladder here, which is the ladder you want to get onto, but yeah, kind of want to be off the ladder still. This is the point where you want an encounter, so you can just wiggle up and down. I got an extremely low rate, didn't I? Until you get the encounter. I'm just gonna end them. Yep, nice levels up. So, as long as you've wiggled up and down after holding down and right for a while, you should still be aligned with the little ladder I just got onto just now. Hold down, there's the ladder. Yep. Off the ladder, and then down onto another ladder. After a while you go right, and down. And it takes you off screen, and back here. That's why the encounter is important, to take you out of the glitch mode, so you can actually screen transition. And I just go up here. What you can also do, which is an even worse idea than this blind climb in general, because it's actually quite hard, is go up here without being able to see the screen. Like, don't reset your screen, just go up here during the blind climb. There's so many places to just get snagged on, you don't want that. There was one item I missed, but again, assuming people actually have some semblance of knowledge of the vanilla locations, that is fine. I'm not here to show every single item. But yeah, that is Magma Rock exterior. Need to turn my encounters off. There we go. And the interior is where the whole burst glitch thing becomes amazing. So initially we just go here. Remember, there is a reserve genie down here. It'll join you without a fight. So that is easy, free real estate. That was an interesting graphical thing. Like, there was like this little, I don't know what to call it. Just go back into the video, look at what happened to Felix and the statue there. It was interesting. This game has some really good graphical glitches, and there's no clue why they're there. And most of them are even in vanilla, so, you know, who knows why they're there. So yeah, just do the first floor as normal because you want to check this item. There is a faster way to do it with a repeat glitch, but that will it'll complicate checking the item. So yeah, we just do the first floor as normal. Go here, go down the ladder. Now this floor is just a joke with the first glitch, because this pillar is all that's stopping you from just going to the next floor, and, you know, we just get rid of it. It poses no threat. There are two items on this floor. Correction, item and a genie? Yeah, there's a genie right here. And if you go up here, there's an item. This item does require you to actually go back and do the floor semi-vanilla to actually, you know, get the lava up and actually take like the moving platform that was in that room. But yeah, given that those two items are not interesting, you just go to the next floor. And then we just go all the way, and here's a nice little item to check. Again, same rule, since we're here anyway, we might as well check, because going back here later requires opening shortcuts and all that stuff, you know, bother. Just activate this statue, and then go across. The first half of this floor is just vanilla, the same way you do it when you're just doing a casual playthrough. As long as you're standing a little bit away from the face as you cast burst, you can actually get that cycle there where you just jump on the platform. I've tried. Reveal does not actually stop these moving platforms, so you can't actually skip a cycle there, unlike with the southeast Tundaria Islands, or whatever it's called, with the penguins. So yeah, here we drain the lava. Or just swing across. Go here. Is there an item down here? I just need to check. No, there's not. Anyway, this floor has like precious stone items. We're gonna do a fun thing. We're actually gonna trigger this statue while we're standing in the floor below. We're actually gonna take a nice hot bath. Toasty. And while submerged, we go here. You saw me run into something there? Yeah, the rocks are still there. We just can't see them. Here we actually go up the ladder that is still there. A lot of the ladders will not work when the floor is submerged, but that one does. So it actually gives us a nice little way to get out of there. Now we just go here. Yeah, remember, if the one item we spied a little earlier was something interesting, you'd need to get it before flooding yourself. Actually, I wonder if you can get the item in that state. Hang on. Trying this for science. You can totally get the item. But you know, navigating this room is a little easier when it's not covered in lava, so, you know, just get it when you can. But if it's nothing interesting like a rusty staff, ignore it. I said it before, I'm going to say it again. You do not need to pick up every item in the randomizer. It is a huge time sink to get all items, especially when half of them are completely useless. So yeah, we're getting towards burst, but rather than just going this way, no, we're not going to do that, because that actually makes getting the magma ball location harder. No, we're actually going to go tag the entrance, and whenever we tag entrances, you can guess what's going to happen. If you guess retreat glitch, you are correct. You get your PP down, go into glitch mode, then enter this door, and it'll actually take you to the tablet room. So you can just grab that and just hop on out. And then we backtrack a bit for the magma ball. Normally, this room, when you enter it normally, is gonna, this is gonna happen. It's gonna be covered in fiery rocks and then all kinds of nonsense. And so you can't actually get to that location, the magma ball, right up there. You actually need blaze to trigger this mechanism. But no, because we actually skipped that cutscene, we can just go here. And you might think that there's nothing there. Don't you need to trigger the cutscene to actually get the magma ball, which is a completely fair assumption. But no. It's right there. And fittingly enough, it is the Mars star. Yeah, that is Magma Rock. I just wanted to do a full clear of this place because it's just interesting to show some of the routing changes when you start throwing in the retreat glitches there. It definitely makes it a little faster. And of course the burst glitch, obviously. Yeah, we're actually going over a couple more small minor glitches. Press B. Gabomba statue. So this is the big room with all the gears where you go to the two sides to invert the direction of the gear. It's all super cool, but all super tedious to actually get over the gears. So we go do this side first. We pound this in. Not gonna be doing that now. Now what you want to do is retreat glitch. And then walk back and, you know, take encounters here if you need to drain PP, because generally you're gonna be in Gabomba statue with pretty much close to max, because, you know, it's quite a trek through here. Take some encounters to drain it if need be. Now, going up the ladder. Again, retreat glitch removes ladder loading zones, so you can actually get up onto the wall. You actually do want an encounter here. But you just run across the wall here. But with no encounters, that's interesting. Come on. Thank you. So yeah, that takes it out of the glitch mode again. And then just go here. Do the pound thing on this side, then just go back up. Yeah, you need to make sure that you don't pound the pound pillars while you're in the retreat glitch state, because I'm pretty sure that will mess with some of the events and cause unexpected behavior to happen. So yeah, that is essentially it for Gabomba. Ankohl has some interesting stuff. Obviously get the chests from the 2 rooms here. Yeah, these phases are one thing that for some reason I never realized you could pull out the middle bit before doing the randomizer, and there's actually items behind some of these, like this one, all the way on the right. The second one from the left has an item, right here. And the leftmost one has access to another item. You can see it here to see if it's worth your time. If it is, you go to the second phase on the right, pull that out of the way, and then you're on this side. You can pull that out of the way, go all the way back around to his side, and then sand and get. So yeah, as interesting as that is, there is one more quite interesting thing about Ankohl. It's more about the sand synergy, honestly. Skipping all of these chests, you should know where they are. Right here is an item. And normally you'd say you'd have to go around, you know, to get to this side over here, move that out of the way, go back here, sand. Now, let me show you something neat. So sand actually allows us to get out of sand mode in places that you would normally not be able to get to, like slightly into this block. You press A to go out of sand mode, by the way. In case you didn't know, you can also get out of it by just moving out of the sand area, but pressing A is an on-command kind of thing. So when you're here, we rotate along the block, get into position, and we are just enough inside the block that our move connects with the pillar. There's no need to go around. You can just go here. Because I have a save state? No, I don't. That's fine. Yeah, normally you can't get into this block enough to actually make your move connect to the pillar. So yeah, sand is very useful in that situation. There are a couple other places in here that allow you to do that, and it's essentially almost like a close relative to the thing we saw earlier on in Gaia Rock, where you can pull objects slightly on top of you. It's the same kind of situation where hitboxes are just a little bit of a suggestion. Now, alright, that was not the right door, but it put me where I wanted to be. Dang, let me just... So yeah, this room in Tundaria Tower. Normally you go to the right side, do this pan pillar thing, move that one, move this pillar out of the way, this way, move this pillar, and then get over here, push this one out of the way. But you really only need to do the left side. Just move this here, 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 so you can get up here. And with some wiggling, again, this is something you just kind of need to get a feeling for. You can make your move connect to the far pillar. And just move that out of the way from here. You don't need to go all the way, do the right side stuff. No, you just get over here, wiggle. Wiggle strats. Right. Enough messing around. Final thing is move clips. Something you may have heard of. And if not, again, this is very adjacent to the last couple of glitches we've seen. It's just this family of glitches that occur just because collision in this game can be really awkward. Move clips, however, are sub-pixel perfect. So this takes practice, memorization, and a bit of luck. This is definitely like, these are things you try a couple times, but you need to know when to give up and just do the room as intended. But yeah, for the randomizer, there's two in particular that are pertinent. The first here in Gaia Rock. For this one, you see like the bottom line of pixels of Felix's shadow. Well, you want to align it with these rocks here, like that. You know what, I'm actually going to enable my cursor. Like this. Right here. You can see that this lower line of pixels is aligned with the rock. Then you go down, and you go up, and you go up until there is one gray pixel visible over here under Felix's shadow. Now you move the pillar onto you, and then left. And as long as you're lucky with your subpixels, you clip on top of the pillar. Now this one really doesn't save you a lot of time, so it's like, try this one once. Don't even bother with taking a really long time to get just the right pixel setup. If you don't, call it quits, just do it as normal, because at that point you are one push away from getting it into position and just walking around, you know, it's like a couple seconds at best. The other one, however, is a little more valuable, which is here in Aqua Rock, the first pillar puzzle. Note, the move clip does not work on the big pillar puzzle, sadly, because of the way height differences work in this game. You're going to push this pillar one to the right, and then we see here, I want to make sure that this shows up on video, yeah. Right here, you see this line of lighter pixels. And here, Felix has like these light orange-brown stripe on his shoes, socks, whatever they are. You want to line those up with each other. Like that. And you want to go right, but not too far right into the wall. If you go actually into the wall, like, look closely, it messes up your Y alignments. It actually pushes you down a pixel. You don't want that. So you want to go right, but not into the wall. Back left. Until that pebble right over there makes a perfect square against your shadow. You can also see it by the one white pixel underneath Felix's cape. Now, let's see if I have the right subpixels. You move it onto you, and this time you hold up. I did not have the right subpixels. So you move it out of the way, you try again. This one in particular is a bit more sensitive than the Gaia Rock one. So getting it right can take quite a few tries. Let's see if that's it. No? Oh no. Yeah, so This one kind of sucks. I'm personally not a huge fan of the move clips. I'll try to do them when I can, when I remember to do them. But in general, these can be pretty big time sinks. Yeah, there we go. That was it. That skips having to flood the room and activate the teardrop stone. So yeah, that one does actually save some time. And that is all that was on my list. If I've missed anything that you're interested in seeing, let me know. I am actually making this video because there is a randomizer community race coming up this weekend at the time of making this video. So that is the 2nd of April. I believe the race is the 2nd of April. I'm not sure if they're accepting any more entrants, but you know, if you see this, you're interested, you want to give it a shot, drop by the Golden Sun Speedrunning Discord and ask around. Yeah, and that's it. If you have any questions, comments, things you would like to see, let me know in the comments. And happy rando playing. I suck at this.